Welcome to our conversations on the future of work and leadership. I'm Elizabeth Varghese, and over the next few weeks, I'll be hosting discussions with fellow New Yorkers from different professions and walks of life. We'll be discussing how work is changing, has changed, and what leadership and resiliency really look like in times like these, in times of crises. This is a very unusual time for all of us, unprecedented. Many of us are juggling work and life. We're all working with patients, students, clients, and our own families as we navigate and try to keep the lights on. Through all of these experiences, we are gaining great insight into the future of work and what leadership really means. And today I want to take some time to have a conversation with one of our New Yorkers, one of our heroes from New York, Lauren. The past few months in lockdown, have really taught parents a lot about the role of educators and how important they are. They're inspiring our children and keeping them engaged, throughout this time and others. I think the months of homeschooling have brought us great appreciation for how challenging the job of an educator is. So here's Lauren. Lauren is a Manhattan elementary school teacher. And while she's managing her own classroom through Zoom, her own two children are also, taking classes on Zoom. So Lauren, thank you so much for making the time. And tell us about yourself. What brought you to New York?
Okay, so I have been teaching for about 12 years. I taught in the suburbs as well as the city. I went to college in Boston, and from there I went to graduate school in New York City, once I went to graduate school, I didn't want to leave. It's a great place to be for school, for teaching, for raising children, everything. And then I was actually a public school teacher as well as a private school teacher. And it's been great, and it's changed dramatically in the recent weeks.
Right. Oh my gosh. What's your favorite part of teaching? What do you love the best?
Well, I love being with the kids, which right now is really hard.
Right.
I'm grateful that we are using Zoom because I get to see my students every day. And I think for them, it just brings some kind of, regular schedule to their day to be able to see their friends, see their teachers. So I think they need that daily routine to keep them, used to their everyday lives.
Right.
Um, but to keep the consistency and be able to teach them as live, as opposed to just posting work for them to do independently, or if
Right.
it's hard for parents, they can't sit with them all day and read with them and be teaching them. So Zoom has really been great for us.
Wow. And your students are 6 and 7 year olds, right? So they're fairly young.
Yeah, some are turning 7, some are turning 8, so they are very young. So as good as Zoom is, there are
Right.
some challenging things about it. There are the distractions of them being home. So we encourage them to be in an environment where, they're sitting, at a table or desk, and, paper and pencil, and, we're lucky for.
Yeah, right. So are you finding your teaching technique and style is changing? How's it to teach in an environment like this, completely virtual?
It's I work with such great people that we're using so many different resources to keep it as close to as the teaching we would do in the classroom.
Mhm.
You just want to be next to them. The other day I just wanted to jump through my computer and be sitting with them so I could just have them right next to me and be helping them right in person. But obviously, we haven't been doing that, but we've been really trying to just get out there and looking for as many resources as possible to use with the children. And we've been fortunate.
That's great. So the Zoom is providing the connection and the interaction.
It definitely has. And I think, we've been doing this for so many weeks now that I think the kids are getting used to it, and they do look forward to the sessions and having that as part of their day.
And how do you think, the future of teaching and just learning is going to change? How do you see that evolving?
I think we've, reached out so much more, and now we have used so many different resources to help our teaching. I think in the future, once hopefully we'll be together again, but for those students, that maybe we can do more teaching remotely, maybe students who cannot be with us in class can, we could do more, live Zoom lessons, or have some things where, if a child can't get to school, they could, watch a recorded lesson, or they could have in the classroom,
Right.
where they're recording, and they could even participate if for some reason they couldn't be with us. So I think we've expanded our ways of teaching that will probably help us down the road.
So much more flexibility and still trying to keep the connection, the interpersonal
Yes.
aspect of it.
Yes. And even at any age, I mean, we have, they're doing gym classes on Zoom. They're having the children run around and doing, you know, find something in the house that's purple. And then so they're really finding such great ways to interact with the kids, whether
Right.
it's music or art, or even if they pre-recorded lesson, it might not be live, but it's still something that keeps the kids engaged.
So really more creative ways of using technology,
Such
and just
creative ways.
ways to do
Yes.
the same
Yes.
things they're doing, but just maybe using different media. That's
Yes.
very interesting. Lauren, anything you've found really unusual when you or unexpected as you've kind of gone through this journey of transitioning from live classroom to virtual? Any aha moments? Any things you want to
Yeah,
share?
I think that, you realize how, when you are together in person, it just seems that you could, really be there with them, and how important it is just for a child to come up and, give you that morning hug, and just they know
Right,
that you're there for them. So that's changed a lot, and they get so excited to tell you things and talk to you. And even now it's, on Zoom, they want to show me things in their room, and they want to,
right.
I said, I love that, and I want to see it. That personal connection of being in the classroom has really, now that we're not there, you realize how meaningful it is to be, with your
Right.
class.
The physical presence, that the importance of that's reinforced. But the
Yes.
blurring of the work in the home is also kind of giving you different insights into how the kids are and how they're engaging and dealing. That's very
Yes, and then it's funny when you see, it's like, there's a lot of the behaviors are the same as in school, as in
right.
home, and they're very cute. I mean, one quick funny story is, I teach in small groups, so one child raised their hand and asked to go to the bathroom.
Right.
So I said, okay, if you really need to go, we only have 10 minutes left. And then another child says, raise their hand and goes, when he comes back, can I go? And here we are, everybody's in their own home on Zoom, but they're just so trained in that way that it was funny, but at the same time, it's like, wow, they get it.
I get
They're
it.
still doing what they need to do. It was
That's
very cute.
awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And have you? So what are they asking you, and what are you telling them about this time of virtual learning and not being together, but still doing some of the same things you did together as a classroom?
I just tell them how lucky we are, and every day that they come on, I just tell them how happy I am to see them, the smiles on their face, and that we're so lucky that we still get to be together, even though we're not sitting next to each other. We still get to communicate. We get to see each other. We still get to keep on learning. We
Right.
still have expectations, that we expect. We have to get our work done, and we have to, keep moving forward during this time.
To communicate and not lowering standards, do the same
Exactly.
things we need to do. I love that.
Exactly.
I love
The
that.
expectations are still there. We still have a lot of learning to do.
That's great. And anything you think, as you reflect upon what we're all navigating through, what do you think is really important in terms of, leadership or resiliency? Like, what do we have to hold on to as teachers, as educators, as professionals? What would you, recommend, think about?
I think, keeping our standards high. I think that it's important to know that just because the situation has changed, we still need to, have expectations, like I was just saying.
Right.
Like, just because you're home doesn't mean that we're not in school, doesn't mean
Right.
that we don't need to be reading. We don't need to be getting our homework done. Everything is, even though we're not in a school building, we
Right.
still have that. We still have that every day, that we still, have responsibilities as,
Mhm.
as students and as teachers. And that's what they need to know, that when they wake up every day, that, you get on a Zoom and you can't get it on your pajamas. You need to get up every day, get dressed,
Right.
get your work done. And it's still going to be the same.
I love that. So we have our responsibilities. We have to maintain our standards,
Yeah,
and that's why you're such a great teacher. I think that's inspiring for corporate America too. Get
for
up in the
sure.
morning and fulfill your
Exactly. And it makes
responsibilities.
all the difference.
Any other message from a New Yorker, somebody who's been, living in the city, teaching in the city, and just, seeing what's happening as the pandemic unfolds?
Oh, I
Anything
have
you
to
want to close
say,
with? Any
to
message?
be a New Yorker is special. Every night I watch that 7 o'clock, everybody going out, and I am not in the middle of it right now to see it. I'm in New York, but I'm not in the Manhattan right now. And my friends send me the videos, and the last one I got was day 40, still going strong, of New Yorkers going out. So I think everybody just really stays strong together, and we're all in it together and here to help each other.
Thank you. Thank you. Stay strong and stay united. And thank you again, Lauren. Really
Thank you
appreciate
so
it.
much. Stay healthy and well.